直哉？
不安にさせてごめん。こっそり浮気なんてしないと思われるようにより一層愛すよ。
こら離して。
咲ちゃん好きだ
離して。
You guys asked for some more romance comedy shows. You got it. Who doesn't love a good romantic comedy? I bet for many of you, rom-coms have been the genre that introduced you to anime. So without wasting any time, I present to you top 10 romance anime that will make you laugh. Let's start our list with The Way of the House Husband. Our protagonist is the former Yakuza legend, who single-handedly defeated a rival gang with a lead pipe. Soon he leaves everything behind and tries living as a house husband. While adapting to mundane household tasks, he finds that being a house husband has its own challenges. Despite living peacefully, misunderstandings seem to follow him left and right. I know many people will hate this show for its animation. It takes time getting used to the slideshow kind of thing. But if we ignore this, it's a very well-constructed show. The jokes are delivered well, the voice acting is great, and overall it's an enjoyable show that can be finished in just about an hour. In ninth place, we have Girlfriend, Girlfriend. Our protagonist is a first-year high school student. He starts dating his childhood friend, whom he liked for a long time. However, a beautiful young girl named Nagisa also confesses to him. At first, he tries to reject her, but is soon overcome by feelings of not wanting to hurt her. He comes up with a solution to make both girls happy, that is to Taimi. While his girlfriend is angry and reluctant at first about the idea, she eventually agrees. Personally, I was having a hard time diving into the show by looking at this bizarre synopsis. But I can't deny the fact that it's too funny. If comedy is something you look highly while picking a particular show, I would highly suggest you to give it a try. But for some reason, I just cannot shake off this cringe feeling from my head. In eighth place, we have Fortune Arterial. Our protagonist has changed schools so many times that he's convinced he'll never make friends. However, everything changes when he transfers to a prestigious high school on Tamatsu Island. Soon after transferring, he discovers that one of the students in the class next door is in fact a vampire. If you're into vampire-oriented shows, then you might enjoy this one. Also, the added touch of romance elements end up enhancing the overall enjoyment. Even though the anime focuses mainly on the comedy genre, I feel ending bits are oriented more on the drama side. Overall, it's a decent anime to spend some free time and enjoy. I'd recommend you to give it a try and decide for yourself. Coming in seventh place, we have Summer Storm. When our protagonist goes to stay with his grandfather, he gets lost and wanders into the Arc Cafe. There he meets a 16-year-old girl with a big secret. After trying to protect her from a man who claims to have been hired by her family, he runs away with her, and now she stays at his grandfather's place with him. He soon finds out that his new friend is no ordinary girl, as she possesses mysterious powers. In my opinion, this show is constructed beautifully. The main focus of the show is its slice of life and drama elements. It's definitely an underrated show, and not many people know about this. I personally enjoyed the little comedy portions and the bond between the two characters. It leaves you with the feeling of wanting more. I highly recommend you to give it a try. Moving on, we have The Duke of Death and His Maid. Cursed by a witch as a child, our protagonist gained the unwanted power to kill every living thing he touches. Forced to move away from his family, he now stays into a large mansion deep in the woods. He is treated as if he does not exist. However, Rob and Alice, his butler and maid, are always by his side. She loves to tease him and as their relationship grows, he decides to break free from his deadly curse. Personally, it takes time getting used to the CG. I like character designs. It sure doesn't affect the overall enjoyment. Even though it's pretty early, I feel it started really great and gives that high score girl type of vibe. I highly recommend starting this show, as I feel it has the potential of becoming something great. In fifth place, we have Eat a Kiss. When her house is destroyed by an earthquake, our protagonist is forced to share a roof with the school's possibly smartest student named Naoki. She has always been in love with him, and the only thing standing in her way is her low grades. But after this tragic event, she sees her chance to bridge the gap. Now she must try to find a way to reach his heart by tapping into his soft side. I feel this is a perfect pick if you're a heavy rom-com fan. Despite some minor flaws, the storyline and characters are pretty good. Overall, if you want to take a break from your preferred genre, then it's a perfect anime to watch and take some enjoyment out of it. And one more thing, it has a very heartwarming happy ending. Coming in at the fourth place, we have Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Our protagonist is a 30-year-old unemployed woman. She quickly turns to online games to pass her plentiful free time. She starts a new life as a handsome young man with silky hair named Hayashi. However, she's an obvious noob and ends up dying numerous times. A lovely girl named Lily lends her a helping hand. Meanwhile, a fateful encounter with a handsome salaryman in the real world starts affecting her real life and her online world. In my opinion, this anime is really well made. Surprisingly, it is much better than what you would expect it to be. I feel characters and their development is the highlighting element of this show. Definitely an underrated show, and I highly recommend you to give it a try. In third place, we have The Detective is Already Dead. This story follows our protagonist, who 4 years ago became the assistant of a mysterious detective on a hijacked airplane. Together they went on mind-boggling and globe-trotting adventures while combating a secret organization. But all of that came to an end when they were separated by her death. In the present day, he tries to return to an ordinary, boring life as a high school student, but things are still not that simple for him. Well, this show is really something. Even though it lacks comedy elements, the entire first special episode looks promising. It sure has a lot of potential, and I personally can't wait to see where they take this plot. Just blindly go for it if you're into mystery, romance genre.
You carry the world upon your shoulders, for I'm not the only one.
Coming in at second place, we have Skip Beat. Our protagonist works hard to support the dreams of her childhood friend and crush. Working at burger joints and tea ceremonies, she is unaware that he's taking all her efforts for granted. But one day she finds out the truth and decides to take revenge on him by entering the entertainment world herself. As she steps into her new life, she faces a lot of challenges that will push her out of her comfort zone. I feel this show is so far the perfect balance of advancement and humor. It's safe to say this show is genuinely heartwarming and funny. I highly recommend everyone to give it a try. Trust me, you won't regret it. In the first place, we have Waiting in the Summer. Our protagonist on summer night, while testing his new camera, sees a blue light in the sky. A minute later, light strikes and hits the bridge. Just before falling unconscious, a hand grabs him, and the next thing he remembers, he's now in his bedroom with no injuries and no memories of that night. Later, he decides to work on a movie project with his friends where he meets a new upperclassman. He finds out that she is not what she seems when they shake hands, and he gets that familiar feeling of seeing her somewhere. I personally feel this anime is underrated and needs more love. If you're looking for a romance show with a touch of sci-fi and comedy elements, you would love this show. That's all for today's list, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed the video. Show your support by